trying to eat now every couple hours just because I realize my energy throughout the day fluctuates so much. So I'm trying to eat every so often. I'm getting super strict now with what I eat too, just because I realize when I eat certain foods, I just feel like shit, and I've just been on a overall not a great diet lately. I mean, it's not unhealthy, but now I'm going super healthy again just because I remember when I'm just in like peak physical performance and energy, it's always like eating extremely cleanly. Also trying to drink more water because I'm super dehydrated during the day. And yeah, we'll see how it goes, but my energy's been good the last day or two. But we'll see how this week goes because it's so intense. If I can keep my energy levels high and not be tired, I hate the feeling of being tired, so I'm trying to get rid of that by doing all these little things, sleeping more, eating better, drinking more water, etc., etc. So we'll see how it goes.
I don't feel like coming down. I've been working late. I think I need a raise. They said I'd never make it. Now it's Versace on my frames. Yeah, I be on stage and I'm wildin', watching the money just piling. It's all peace and love, I ain't violent. Swagging myself, never pay for a stylist. Goddamn, 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 it's lit. Too much smoke up in this whip. Roll that window down, let the smoke out. If you didn't know, well you know now. We on that A+, that's the wave, yeah. A+.
So just had a cool meeting with this industrial design company. Can't say much about it, but long story short, they are looking for a software design and development and product studio, and they came across us somehow. I think it was on Google or something. And but what I loved is when they let off the meeting. You know, I talked to them on the phone, and then they actually came and met us in person. But they let off the meeting saying, hey, like, you know, part of the reason why we're here is we've been, you know, after we looked at a bunch of companies, we then came across all your videos and got a sense of who you are, your company, your personality, and we just really liked it. So, you know, you were in one of the 2 or 3 that we narrowed it down to. So that's cool. So, you know, that's a byproduct, I guess, of documenting all this, is now people actually get a sense of who I am, who the team is, who Jacked is, and you know, it was nice because then it kind of already broke the ice. They already knew who I was. They knew who I was. I didn't know who they were until they came in. But yeah, it's nice. It's helpful. Part of just like putting out a bunch of content. People get to know who we are, what we believe in. Our process, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just want to touch on that. You know, we'll see if we actually end up working with these guys, but nonetheless, it's pretty cool. When I went to Chase, I emailed my 12 o'clock appointment, trying to push it back 30 minutes. But then I was actually, because I thought it would take longer at Chase, and I ended up getting back by 12. But by that point, I had moved the meeting, and then they couldn't do 12:30. So now I have a little break. Just frustrating because my day is lined up like perfectly, and it got a little messed up because one person showed up 40 minutes late. All of a sudden just had a domino effect. But I'm staying positive. But now I had to move that call to 9:30 tomorrow, and tomorrow is even more packed than today. So now I'm gonna have like, I threw on another call and there's like 15 calls tomorrow. But next is, well, number 1, eat, and then I have a 1 o'clock meeting with someone who used to be a client of ours, who now started his own agency, and he's been seeing some of these videos, and he reached out and was like, hey, can we like talk, and you know, about his agency and growing it and all that good stuff. So I'm meeting with him at 1. term, here's my view on like partnerships. They're good, and this is in general, not specific. They were great in the early days. I was like, hey, what's the biggest?
Should we go to the park?
Yeah, you want to do that? It's like, what is the biggest bang for your buck essentially? Like if you can make a relationship with an agency who then can send you multiple deals because they're doing all the lead gen.
Exactly. I wanted to ask you about that.
Then it's great. So that was my approach because I was like limited on time. So I made a couple of those different type of relationships, whether they were design agencies, marketing agencies, larger agencies, whatever. And that was actually what helped us grow. That and like the Alley network.
Did you get a lot of deals through Alley?
Not anymore.
Okay.
Kind of outgrew that. That was good like initially. But so that was really good and I was like, oh, this is great. Long story short, to cut to the chase, is I don't like that approach from a long term because then you're at the mercy of everyone else, right? If everyone else is owning the leads,
exactly,
right? You want to be up top. Like, I have no problem paying the commission. It's not about that, but it's just, hey, if you control the lead source, you're in control of your business. Versus, with us, for example, if we solely relied on or another one, if they're stopping sending us lead, we're dead. Yeah. So I would say make the relationships, but don't assume you're not going to get anything from them. And then just like have multiple, but yeah, don't get complacent because it's not going to solve that long-term problem. It'll solve the short-term. They might send you leads and stuff, but the long-term problem, like you will reach a cap of like, okay, cool. There's only so high this is going to take me, and then what? And so I wish I would have started on the growth engine sooner. Like in hindsight, I would have still made partnerships, but then also at the same time built out a whole sales and marketing. So. To that point, I wish I would have invested in marketing earlier. I wish I would have invested in sales. Really, out of the two, I would say marketing because just a long tail on that. Like any content you produce or just anything you're doing, yeah, it's an investment. You're gonna have to spend money on it. But I think I was a little short-sighted with it and didn't reinvest enough in that because basically when doing all the budgets and the margins and all of that, was only accounting for, okay, we're billing this, we're making this, we make the spread, great. And then, save some cash for, whatever it is in the bank, but not using it towards marketing. I would use it to, have it or to take care of like a lumpy month.
True.
Or if we need to hire someone and cover a week's salary, whatever. Part of that money should have been assigned each month towards marketing. Just keep talking about it though, because I think about this stuff all the time. So.
Yeah.
All right, man. Shit. 2 o'clock right now?
Yeah.
Hey. I have a room, but I don't know which one it is.
I think it's Ruston.
Is it?
I think so. If I looked earlier.
I know I had it earlier this morning. Hopefully we still have it. Yeah, so we're a digital product studio. So we design and build. It could be web applications, mobile applications. Doesn't really matter for us. It's just like how do we use technology to solve some problem. So for Alley, we built some of the backend system that people here actually use. We also did some of the front end work, but typically we work with, it could be a startup or some business that's like identified some problem in some industry and wants to build some software to solve the problem. So we'll come in and build a completely custom application for them. Oh, like a marketing site. Yeah, we also do that as well. Alright, so really quickly, just something that was on my mind that I wanted to talk about, that Laura and I were discussing earlier that we missed, but I thought it was important, is that people commonly ask us how much does something cost, and they'll lay out, here's the features that we want, and we want to compare apples to apples, you versus someone else, right? And something I was discussing with Lauren is just like, this is, I just don't like this question, right? It's the wrong question to ask when people say, here's what I want to build, let me know a price. And there's two reasons why this is the wrong question. Number one, it's virtually impossible to accurately say how much something will cost. I understand everyone needs a price estimate, or wants a price estimate, because they're like, how much is this going to cost, right? But if you put the same features in front of different people, people are going to have different estimates. You know why? Because it's extremely difficult to estimate for software design and development up front, just based on the list of features, right? Someone will say 50K, someone will say $500,000, right? So that's number one, and that's been proven. There's research on it, people have done, right? It's you can see that people are just off, right? There's only so well you can estimate with very limited information, which is just a feature set, right? It requires more of a deep dive into understanding the actual features, right? Saying, hey, we have sign up, or we need to connect this third-party API, right? It's just not enough information. How can you possibly have enough information to really give a good estimate? But really the bigger issue with doing that is that that's assuming you're building the right thing, right? Just listing out a list of features. The first question is really why? Why are you building this? For what purpose, right? Does it achieve the business goals that you want, right? Because if you list out a bunch of features and I say it's 100,000, right? And then someone else says it's 50,000. And you're like, cool, I'm just gonna go with them, right? But what if I told you you were actually building the wrong thing, or not the wrong thing, I'll be with my choice of words. You could build something better, and you know, it might cost you 50K, it could cost you 100K, but it's gonna make you 3 times the amount of money, right? Then all of a sudden, it's a completely different conversation. This was a good business decision. It might have cost you more, but you got a 3x return, right? So really the starting point is, why are you building something? Does it achieve, really there's 3 aspects to any successful kind of engagement with us. One, the design element, right? It has to be something that users love. Technology, right? It has to be something that's actually feasible, that you can build technically, right? But here's the third part that a lot of people miss out on, that forget, is the business side. Is it feasible? Is it a viable product, right? You can design the most beautiful thing, you can build things with the most functionality and features, but if you're not thinking about the business and creating something that's viable, none of that shit matters. You can spend 50K or 100K, it doesn't fucking matter, right? So that's really how to convey that to people, is what I'm struggling with sometimes, is being like, look guys, think of us as you would be hiring an employee, right? What you really care about is the business objectives. Did we reach profitability? Did we make money off of this, right? Can you help us get there, right? It's not saying to an employee, hey, how much is this gonna cost? You're like, look, I believe that as a partner, as an employee of this company, you're gonna help us achieve our business goals. You're gonna do it by designing and building software that helps us achieve those business goals, right? And when people are hiring an agency, they all of a sudden shift to this like vendor mindset, which is like, here's what I want. How much does it cost? And you're all competing against price, which is wrong. That's not how you hire an employee. You don't hire them saying, who's the cheapest? You say, who is the best for this job? And I'm okay paying a little bit more because I believe that they're gonna help us achieve the business goals. So for us, when we start an engagement, really it's saying, hey, let's be transparent. How much do you have to spend? And what are your time constraints? Time and budget constraints are real. Everyone has them, every single business, right? As a partner, we need to know those things, and then we're gonna work with you within those constraints to achieve business goals.
Anthony's dramatic, right? He has time for lunch. He has time for lunch. And I was like, no, there are definitely days where we just like run down the street and get a smoothie. And she's like, why don't you just make smoothies in your office? Come in, I can show you how to do it. And I was just like, I think my aunt was just really like trying to, she wants an excuse to come to New York, and she wants to help. And I was like, yeah, you can come in and give us a tutorial on smoothies. It's fine.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I fucking love that. On another note, just to round out this, leads still, there's like 8 from last week, but things are finally moving down the list. So the of interest to you and me is that SQLs are at 6, and that shows in like I'm actually sending proposals out. So hopefully, if these numbers stay true to like how we normally work, we should from all of these have 1 or 2 deals over the next few weeks that actually close if the closing rate stays the same.